Yo Joes, welcome to the 6th and final installment of Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe by 3D Joes and Carson Metaxas. Well, final for now, maybe. These are a review of the Accufoil covers, and possibly down the road there might be a full hardcover set of all 6 volumes all together. So that's still up in the air right now, a possibility, but for now you can own these beautiful collected works of G.I. Joe in these soft cover Accufoils versions, and I really like having them in individual volumes like this. It's a big reason why I do the toy history videos in separate parts instead of all in one episode, because for me these toy lines were separated by the year. There was 82, 83, 84. Each year was special and deserves its own attention, so that's why I really enjoy having these. These do combine 2 or 3 years into one volume, but it's really cool to have individual, separate little collections of these little eras of G.I. Joe. So if you're interested in owning these Accufoil versions, they are running out. Supplies are running out on 3D Joe's. You want to check that out, and if it's not in your budget, then you can own the digital versions of these. So not quite as nice as having actual paper printouts, and these are really, really high quality. You can just tell from the shine, the sheen, the thickness of the paper, the vibrance of the color. It's almost like having the figure in your hand, the card actually in your hand, which is so much cheaper than owning each and every single carded figure and vehicle box. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It was much more affordable than buying a mint on card stalker and a mint on card zap. I just love having all of this card art, and easy to store. Even better now with the slipcase that you can hold them all in now, and beautiful artwork on that as well. So let's take a look at the final entry in the Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe saga by R. Carson Metaxas, Volume 6, 1993 to 1994. Okay, Volume 6. Feels like it's been a long road to get here. It's been a long road. Sorry. Volume 6 by R. Carson Metaxas. Once again, Carson, thank you so much for all of the effort that you put into these. He's got his own little file card here, courtesy of the finest G.I. Joe Costume Club. A lot of heart and soul put into these, and I really appreciate it. And we've got an Accufoil cover again, and I love that we've gone back to some of the older Joes. One of my favorites, Airtight, Hostile Environment. Got Flint heading up the group, Beachhead, Shipwreck, Quick Kick. Looks like Lady J back there, Leatherneck. Dual-sided, as always, General Hawk, Snake Eyes, Iceberg, Dusty, Roadblock, Wetsuit, Dial Tone, Mainframe, and Lifeline. Great to see the whole gang. And like the other covers, you open them all up, and you got General Hawk and Airtight right in the middle. Conspicuous by his absence, Duke must have been on vacation. Must have been on shore leave that day. We got another forward by Kirk Bazigian. So I like that each one of these had an individual forward by Mr. Bazigian, and another introduction by Carson Metaxas. Fittingly, this one is titled All Good Things, with some imagery on the bottom here. Beautiful. And we are taking a look at Battle Corps and some DEF, Headhunters, and Eco Warriors. The 1993 carded figures. And the neon years continue. So we've got some Battle Core here. We got an Alley Viper. Backblast gets a repaint. This is one of my favorite later Joes, but this isn't too bad in terms of a repaint. A little more traditional looking. Got that OD green. Barricade gets another figure. We just saw him in the last issue. This one's a little brighter. And Bazooka gets a new figure too. Wearing a bright red sweater this time. He's ditched the football jersey. Beachhead with a new figure. I do like this one. Harkens back to the original one. This is what I was saying in the last episode review, that you gotta sort of look like your previous figure, and with the black vest, harness, and the green ski mask, that feels like Beachhead to me. Another bulletproof figure. That is not Agent Baldwin P. Vess, but a cool figure nonetheless. Not sure about all of the bright yellow on him though. Cobra Commander with a repaint of a newer figure. All in black this time. The Cobra Eel, brighter than ever. Bright yellow eel. Colonel Courage with a nice traditional looking motif. Kind of looks like Sergeant Savage line of figures. Pretty cool. Crimson Guard Commander. That's interesting. Doesn't look anything like a Crimson Guardsman to me. Cross Country. That's a pretty cool looking figure. The jeans, very cross country, and the same headgear that he had with the Havoc version. Dr. Mindbender. Look at all that yellow. Whew. Duke with a new figure. With the desert camo. Odd to me to see a Duke figure with a non-removable helmet. Not too sure about that, but they are getting, like, this is an entire sprue. You need to remove the weapons from this plastic tree, which unfortunately is shrinking the card art down, because now they're, instead of overlapping like they did in the last one, they're actually reducing the size of the art, because they know they're covering it all up. This must be Firefly. Yep. Bright green. That would look so much better just as a gray figure. Gray with camo. Flak Viper. Looks a lot like Fast Draw to me. That kind of looks like Topside's backpack with the missiles on it. There's this good old Frostbite, driver of the Snowcat, and they've changed the his hair and beard color from black to brown. Other than that, nice looking Arctic figure. Nothing too bright except for the orange grenades. General Flag already with a repaint, darker colored jacket, some gray gloves. Not a bad looking figure. Gristle. I don't think I've ever heard of this guy. This is news to me. Urban Crime Commander. Is he a Joe or a Cobra? Gristle. I don't see any Cobra markings. That's interesting. He kind of looks like a bad guy. Gung Ho with a repaint, and with that American flag once again. These guys are including all sorts of things that really shoot, so you don't have to pretend they shoot. Kenner style. There's a Heat Viper. Man, they're really going with the green. Lots of neon green here. Headhunter. Cobra Street Trooper. Headhunter Stormtrooper. And I wonder if the inference is street violence, gang violence. I wonder if there's some sort of inference of like drugs, like the Headman, the last review. If these guys aren't just after world domination, but drug dealers, which that's some pretty serious stuff. Iceberg with a new figure, and he's wearing a mask. Interesting. Comes with a little snowboard. Keelhaul. This is a straight up repaint of the keelhaul that came with the USS Flag. It's an interesting color scheme. Bright blue jacket. Would have been nice to see something a little more naval looking. Wouldn't have been too hard to, well, I guess they didn't want to go too close to the Flag version. Law, I guess this is Law from Law and Order. And he's wearing a mask also. And Leatherneck gets a new figure. Not bad, other than the bright yellow. That's not really going to blend in the forest or the jungle. Long Arm. So we're reusing some cops' names now, which is fitting because they had reused some G.I. Joe trademarks in cops. So that is not Officer O'Malley from Cops. Just the same code name. Mace. Speaking of cops, that is not Sergeant Mace, but making good use of his name. A lot of these look fantastic except for bright yellow or bright orange or bright green. Muskrat. So Muskrat gets a new figure. Sort of a SEAL diving look he's got here, but the bright orange just to make it pop a bit more. Mutton Junkyard. Get another issue, and the bright orange with a ginormous missile firing gun here. Launcher shoots. Night Creeper Leader. Bright orange. A lot of bright colors here. Outback gets a new figure now. He had bright colors on the original. It was his beard and his hair was orange. So the orange almost kind of goes with his hair. Nice roadblock figure here. Look how nice it looks when there's no bright colors. Just the green it's not too bright. It's not neon by any means, but great looking roadblock right there. And Snowstorm. Nice visor. Bright orange in the Arctic. Not going to blend in that well. Recolor of that last wetsuit we saw. This is really nice. A little better than the bright yellow of the other one. Bright orange this time. But nice to see a wetsuit with a removable helmet. Wild Bill. A quick recolor of the last one we just saw. I like this one a little bit better. And there's a little note here about revisions and additions. Little trivia bits. And we're getting into the Mega Marines line now. And now we've even got the neon green spiral in behind here. There's Blast Off and Clutch. Oh, this includes some sort of, what is this? Got a concussion, cannon blast, and some sort of goop or slime. Says it's a trading card, but some kind of slime in there. This was also one of the reasons why I thought G.I. Joe's time had passed for me, because that's not Clutch. Like a head-to-toe bright orange outfit, no beard. I just figured, well, someone else is running the show and they see something, different vision for the G.I. Joe that I was such a fan of. Cyber Viper and Gung Ho with a bright neon. I mean, it's interesting to see this stuff. Very, very bright, vivid colors. Mega Viper and Mirage. I suppose they felt like they had to do something drastic because sales were down, but I don't know if that's the direction to go into. History has proven. Banzai, we got some more Ninja Force, Bushido. I think this could have been a really successful line if they had just toned down the colors a little bit. Because everything was starting to get a little more dark in the 90s, and going with super bright colors I think was the wrong choice. Something a little more subtle and realistic. Scarlet gets another figure. Looks like she's got a real... Oh, she's got a ponytail there. And Slice. Snake Eyes. With a very nice figure, except for the blue parts on him, but I like that mask. That's very Snake Eyes. Zartan gets a new one, and he's got a new look this time. He's ditched the hood, and he's got a mohawk. And some bright colors there. Star Brigade. Astro Viper. I remember seeing some of these at the toy store. And I think that really says it all right there, how small the G.I. Joe logo is and how big Star Brigade is. That the G.I. Joe brand just started to really take a back seat to the sublines, the dreaded sublines. So I always wanted Joe to be at the forefront, but this looks like Duke. These don't look anything like classic O-ring figures. Heavy Duty has ditched the neon green hat for a nice red one, but he's got a neon green body, so 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Robo Joe. It's got a nice... The detail in these pictures is so amazing. You can see the little paint flecks on the figure. And Rock and Roll is out in space too. So, not being a space fan of G.I. Joe, I got my space fix from other toy lines. I just passed on all of the Star Brigade, but it's very interesting to see what was released back then. And then here is a look at all of the 93, 94 drivers and pilots. Nice looking Ace. I've got that one. Ambush gets another nice recolor. Cutter. Low light. It's interesting, this art actually doesn't look all that bright. It looks more like traditional G.I. Joe art. General Hawk, Sci-Fi, and Windchill. And we're into the vehicles, 1993 vehicles and playsets. Starting with the Detonator. The Cobra Detonator with Nitro Viper air-powered launcher, shoots 3 foam rockets. So that's a little safer. I guess some kids were hurting themselves, so now we got to go to foam. And the Ice Snake, high-speed Arctic attack vehicle with jaw snapping roll cage. And the Ghost Striker, one of the nice last aircraft of the original G.I. Joe run, with some really cool electronic gimmicks here. Projection technology. I wonder if this was intended originally or developed for Visionaries, and when that line quickly died out, they used it for some of these late Battle Corps vehicles. The Mudbuster, all-terrain 4x4. That is a big Jeep, big truck. And then there's the Shark 9000 with Cutter. That's cool. It's nice that a new water vehicle includes an old water vehicle driver. Good old Cutter. I'm not sure what the idea behind Battle Corps was. The DEF was clearly a unit intended to fight drug dealers. Battle Corps, I'm not sure if they were like urban military. This is the Dino Hunter from the Dino Hunter Mission playset. So now we've got dinosaurs. The influence of Jurassic Park is being felt. Oh boy. It includes 2 figures, low light and ambush. You know, there's an old expression, stick with who brought you to the dance, and military brought G.I. Joe to the dance, not space or dinosaurs, so that's why I stopped collecting back then. The Monster Blaster APC, so another unit to transport Joes, and it says bright as the Joes inside it. Holds over 20 Joe figures. Never seen that one. So again, cool to see a lot of this stuff. I know it's online, but I've never bothered to actually go and look this stuff up. I like having it all collected like this. Ninja Raider. So the ninjas are getting some vehicles. Ninja Raider Battle Axe. I like how he fills in some spaces here with some extra artwork. Ninja Lightning. And the Pile Driver. Some more Star Brigade stuff. We got a recolor of the Pogo, the Invader, which sort of looks like a space vehicle. I guess that's fitting. The Starfighter recolor. Wow, look at the size of this. I just saw this at a recent local toy show. The Armor Bot. We were all looking at it, this giant thing, and going, what is this thing? What toy line is it from? And the dealer looked it up and found out it was the Armor Bot. This gigantic robot that you can put Joes in. Looks more like something from robotics. The Rhino GPV Hall of Fame? I've never heard of this line. G.I. Joe Hall of Fame. That's interesting. I wonder if this is the 12-inch line. And then we've got the 1994 figures, starting with Alley Viper, who the original figure was a bright dude. And they have retained basically the same color scheme. So I like that. And ooh, it comes with something free. A G.I. Joe Commander figure offer. G.I. Joe Commander. Now, moving on to more Battle Core. It's too bad that they have ditched the traditional G.I. Joe with exploding digital, I guess at this point, art, just regular Joes, and now it's G.I. Joe Battle Core. Beachhead gets another one. Blue instead of green, so it's a little less beachhead. Yellow instead of black. Dial Tone with a new figure. Gets a removable helmet. Kind of a futuristic looking helmet there. More Battle Force 2000 looking. Flint gets a new figure. It doesn't look too bad actually. It's not Flint's color scheme, but if you do a head swap, it might make a cool Dusty figure, actually. Not too bad. And then over here is Ice Cream Soldier. That's an interesting code name. I do remember seeing that in Sergeant Rock. I wonder if that was a trademark thing where they had to use it to not lose it. Lifeline with a new figure. Lifeline's got to have sunglasses or some kind of shades. That's part of his character. But if you want to call him something else or put a different head on him, or maybe even put the original Lifeline head on him, that wouldn't be too bad. Major Blood gets a new figure. Metalhead with a new figure. Look at that grin. He's a happy guy. I guess he's not an Iron Grenadier anymore. He's just a Cobra. Night Creeper Leader. It's cool how they changed the color of the lasers to red for the bad guys, blue for the good guys. This is a fantastic figure. Shipwreck gets a SEAL diving outfit. So Shipwreck has actually put his nose to the grindstone and done something productive and become a SEAL. That is a fantastic figure. It's like an updated Torpedo. Snowstorm with a new... Oh, that's interesting. That's not really going to blend in with the Arctic either, the black and the gray. But at least it's not neon green and bright orange. Stalker. I don't think I've ever seen this figure before. I'm seeing figures I've never seen, even when browsing online. And this is awesome looking. Look at that. Just black and green, dark green color scheme. It's got a knit hat. Really nice looking figure. Wow. How do I not know about this thing? I might have to hunt this one down. It looks really nice. Viper. Just Viper. After years of seeing all sorts of different Vipers, that guy is just the new Viper. Doesn't look much like the 85 one. Star Brigade. Some aliens included in the line. Look at this thing. Carcass. Bendable monster arms. It's a bendy. Countdown, naturally, for the Star Brigade. Duke in space. Wow. This stuff is new to me too. These alien figures are really out there. Effects? Never heard of him. Cobra Commander. Oh, look at that. You can see his hairdo. Giving a little bit more away of Cobra Commander's identity. And Black Star. I wonder if that's John Blackstar in there. And why would he have joined Cobra? And some more Star Brigade here. Ozone gets reassigned to space. Payload was originally with the Defiant. Sci-fi in space kind of makes sense just because of his code name. Space Shot. And Predacon, another alien. Obvious reuse of the Transformers trademark. And Roadblock, bright orange. And then more Ninja Force. This is Bushido. It's interesting that Snake Eyes is on the card art. Huh. Is that the only Shadow Ninjas? It's interesting. And now we're really going back in time. So the 30th anniversary line. After all those bright colors and space and neon, now we're going all the way back to G.I. Joe's roots. The Action Marine, the Action Pilot, the Action Sailor, and the Soldier. This was refreshing to me. Bazooka Shoots includes Battle Bunker, and I had gotten out of collecting at this point, but I remember seeing these in the stores, and getting them wasn't in the budget, but I remember really being happy that this was being offered for the people who weren't into all of the brightly colored futuristic stuff. The Blockbuster, part of the Battle Corps line, with Wind Chill. I guess that looks like a winter vehicle, just assuming because it's white. And the Scorpion. Cobra Scorpion with missile launcher. Another water vehicle here, the Manta Ray. And the Razor Blade. Little mini helicopter, kind of like a Locust. And Hall of Fame, the Strike Cycle. Foam Rockets Shoot. Again, I've never heard of this thing, or the Hall of Fame line, unless I vaguely recall the 12-inch figures being called Hall of Fame. Push-in tail fender to launch soft foam rockets. Interesting. I'm hoping that a 12-inch line of Joes returns too. You always got to go back to your roots. It's nice to have, they don't have to do a huge line of it, but a few 12-inch offerings would be nice, just to honor G.I. Joe's roots. File card art addendum here. There's the, this was a mail away. And some more file card art down here. Hooded Cobra, Commander and Sergeant Slaughter, Sky Duster, and the fridge. Yep. And another article here. It's nice to go all the way back to the beginning. I like that they go take it full circle after we've seen all of the late stuff. Going back to the glory years, as I call them. Here are all the, oh, that's awesome. A little collage of all of the logos throughout the year, with including Action Force. That is full force. Awesome. Action Force, that's great for the fans in the UK. A little bit of attention given to them. International Hero. Big monkey there, Sasquatch or something. Nice medley of artwork throughout the years. Action Force. That's really cool. So, if you're in the UK, you'll really appreciate the end of Volume 6. Milton Bradley Puzzles. Oh, nice. More classic artwork. The figures and vehicles that I remember best from G.I. Joe. Europe catalogs. There's a Hawk, or no, that's Duke. It looks so similar in the comics. Blonde crew cut and some apparel. Cobra Bug, European version. Triton, so a few of these things have been renamed. The Avalanche. And the Gladiator. Conquest. Cyclone. Tornado. That's actually a better name for that thing, I think. The Corsair. That's classy. I like that. A Titan. Yeah, some of these names are actually better, I think. Barracuda. Everybody loves the Barracuda, right? Ice Snake. Some other Star Brigade stuff. Dominator. And there's Dusty with Sandstorm. Tracker. The Monster Blaster. APC. And the final page. Brazil. G.I. Joe's. That looks, I don't think I've ever seen that Destro card art since that figure came with the despoiler. That's cool. And a Cover Girl card art. Tiger Force. This is really nice. I'm going to need to go back and go through this without the commentary to just enjoy reading this, reading the articles, and looking at the beautiful pictures. And the final page. And a little closing statement here from Carson. And that is Volume 6, final volume of Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe. And what more can I say? I've said it many times, and I'll keep saying it. Just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. For me, a very vital part of my collection. So the actual collectibles in G.I. Joe are important to me, but the artwork is also very important, and I love having a physical version of the artwork. So I'm very happy with all of these. They're fantastic. I like to open them up, go through them every once in a while, and it's kind of like being able to go through those toy aisles again in the 80s. Even if you have a large collection, you don't get to cover much ground just standing in front of it or sitting in front of it and looking at it. And I like the feeling of movement that I get from these. Even though you're just flipping a page in a book, it feels like you're traveling, like almost like you're going through those classic toy aisles again, like we used to, up and down the aisles, up and down the shelves, looking at what do we have here through the pegs. And that's what I really enjoy about being able to physically flip through books like this, that it really gives me that classic sense of searching, hunting, looking, observing, appreciating. That's one of my favorite things about going through all of these, and I'm going to be enjoying these for years to come. So if you also are interested in getting these, you want that old classic feeling of looking, observing, hunting, you can head over to 3djoes.com and pick these up. Some of these are still available individually in the soft AccuFoil covers. There are a couple of full sets still remaining, and the slipcase. And like I said earlier, if that's not in your budget, then there are the digital versions too, which you can enjoy either on your computer, or you could even hook it up to your TV to enjoy on a big screen maybe the imagery throughout these books. And who knows, down the road, maybe if there is enough support and demand for it, maybe these will be able to be released again altogether in a hardcover, in a giant, monstrous, epic hardcover. It would be a very big, thick book. But I think it's important that these stay in print, that they are actually physically something that you can hold and look at and take a closer look at, especially things that you've never seen before. It's very interesting. So thanks everybody for checking out these videos right here, and all of the feedback in the comments. Head over to 3D Joe's, not just for the books. They've also got fantastic posters there, medleys of all of your favorite classic figures and vehicles too, and all sorts of other great information on the website, free of charge. 3D images, spinning images of G.I. Joe figures and vehicles, file card scans, box art, imagery, photography, all sorts of great information on 3D Joe's, a must visit for any G.I. Joe fan. Help spread the word about these great Joe books with your fellow Joe fans on your various social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Feel free to leave a G.I. Joe comment below, and to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Yo, Joe!